Can you hear it?
Yes.
Well, welcome to the McGuffin Film and Television Society. I think it's our 20th event here at the EMD. And it looks like almost successful. The Prisoner, 35 years of the television phenomenon. Thank you very much for coming down. Our first guest tonight requires no introduction whatsoever, so please put your hands together for Mr. Kenneth Griffith.
Did you notice how they all leap onto this platform? They put a box there for me, and I had to make an arrangement also that I had a hand as well. I'm very old and doddery, so take that into account. You know, the first thing I think of, and you all think of, you must, about The Prisoner, is the extraordinary enthusiasm and hard work that's gone on for 35 years. I know of nothing else on television remotely like it, the impact it must have made. And I was asked if I'd say a few words now, and they tell me at about 9 o'clock or so I'll answer any questions. I remember being the guest at Port Merion, and I'm full of disturbing ideas, and I get deeply involved in them. I almost said mainly over Ireland, and then I thought on the way here, don't get into Ireland for God's sake. But you know, I pondered over The Prisoner, and I think what has kept us going over all these years is that statement, I am not a number. And I think that has appealed to generations of young people, and I think that that's quite significant in a world that is falling apart with all sorts of miraculous inventions like the portable phone, which fills the underground and the buses and the pavements with ladies talking about nothing on it. All these advances, somehow, there's perhaps even an unconscious revolt. I am not a number. But we're being pulled into a ghastly world, global world. What's going to happen? I really don't know. I won't be here myself unless it happens next year. But I remember the early days, and a man who left quite a deep impression with me was Patrick McGowan's friend. They weren't always friendly. George Markstein. Now, George Markstein, I even looked round to ask someone while I was waiting if they knew anything, what they knew, but I knew him. I've got a vivid impression of him. We became very friendly. He liked me, and I liked him. Therefore, I immediately think, standing here, there must be something sinister about me if George Markstein liked me, and I liked him, because I imagine George Markstein was connected with refugees from Europe as Hitler evolved. And I think those words, I am not a number, I think he has a lot, but the concept, isn't it? You ought to be telling me, I shouldn't. The concept is quite extraordinary. Really, one program after another about independence and humor with it, and there it was. And Patrick McGowan personified, I am not a number. Incidentally, he was rather like that himself. We were good friends, but he was a strange man. Very strange indeed. And indeed, I don't think I've ever told anyone in this society But I was persuaded by Hugh Weldon, the last man of top quality to run BBC television. You can't be surprised at that statement when one sees the muck that is churned out night after night, day after day. And indeed, if that's a little bit spiteful, I am now totally blacked by the BBC. The last film I made, I won the Critics' Award and the Writers' Guild Award as the best film of 1999. And those miserable little bastards. Well, they blacked me. Of course, I did find it funny because I was 80 as they blacked me, and I did think, oh, well, it's about time you stop. Anyway, these questions. I remember being the guest up in North Wales, and I had to make an initial sort of statement there. And I thought it went very well. I talked about the things that interest me deeply, as I have just now, but quite a number asked me, why didn't you talk about The Prisoner? So I think it's very important if I am going to talk about The Prisoner, and I remember a lot. And the first film I made, Patrick McGowan asked me if I'd go into partnership with him. Now the significance, and we did. We did. But I think he asked me because I'd started making trouble on BBC and Channel 4 when it came. I mean, what's the point of making a film if you don't cause some trouble? See you later.